If you are in your late 20s, early 30s, late 30s, and you're single, you are somehow toxic. There's something that's not working.
That's not true.
You've been dating since you were 16 years old. Like now you damn near 40 and you still single. There is something wrong with you. Honestly speaking, when I hit 25, I was like, damn, there is something probably wrong. Maybe it's me being toxic.
Is this what I'm hearing?
But why? Men get married by the time they're in their late 20s, early 30s.
You don't have-
But
late
toxicity
30s.
isn't the only
It's not about
reason.
age.
Okay, but
Thank
I'm
you.
just saying, so you just being single out here for no reason.
Yes,
A man find a good
yes.
woman, a woman.
It's absolutely about age. I hate to say it, but she's 100% right. It's absolutely about age, especially for women. Now, we need to differentiate between women and men, right? Now, women that are still in their 30s and 40s, still talking about they dating. No, you're not dating. You just messing around. You're not dating, you're just messing around. Men that are still single a lot of times that are in their 30s and their 40s, I think it's a little bit different because in some instances you got guys that was dedicated to their career, that was dedicated to growth, that was very intentional, and I'm starting to see a lot more guys, especially that's tapping in with me, that I'm having coaching calls with. They are very intentional, and so as a result, they dedicated the majority of their early 20s, their mid 20s, into their 30s to themselves, which then allowed for them to really, really become, the greatest version of themselves and leveling up. And now they're in a space where they kind of like on autopilot, cruise control. They focus on their careers and everything like that. So I think it's a difference between men and women. But when you're talking about being in your 40s and you're still single, but you were intentional about you wanting to be in a relationship, there are a number of red flags that come along with that, and we need to start digging into your past a little bit.
A good man, you just single and you're not
Some
toxic.
women
Okay,
don't
Danny,
want
there's
men.
not really-
Some women don't want
that's how I
marriage.
feel. Most women that I know that are in their late 20s, early 30s.
And are they successful and
late
happy
40s, They
in a
are
relationship?
successful in certain areas, but the relationship thing, I know why they're not successful because
Okay.
there's
'Cause
something
they're your
wrong with
friends.
them. And no, I don't know.
'Cause they're your friends.
No, I know there's men that I know. Okay, when you see a 40-year-old man that's not married, that never been married, never been in a serious relationship, you think there's something wrong
Why
with
can't
them?
he just choose to want to be single?
Okay, but
Like I said, I think it's a difference. One of the problems with this woman and her argument, and one of the problems with people in general, is that they try to compare apples to oranges. Men are completely different from women. And so the reason why a man is single and not in a relationship is completely different from why a woman is single and is not in a relationship, especially in their 40s.
Maybe you don't want to get married or
the
something.
benefits, the health benefits, like
Loners.
look, there's literally
Health
one.
benefits.
No, not health benefits. There's some loners, but then also there are. Let's say a woman is not fertile, and let's say like she's dating a man or whatever.
And he want kids. She
You
could be
feel
single.
me? Then she gonna be single.
I get, but I'm not
like-
saying it's all people, but most people like.
They're using the exception to speak to the rule. You can't do that.
Too far
There comes to a certain
I know what
like
you're
where you
saying.
want
I
to
get
balance
what
with
you're saying.
someone and you want to have that marriage with
You know
someone.
what? There's a
Let's
level.
not keep it.
wait,
Too
y'all.
many
Hold
side
on,
combos.
y'all. Let's
One at a
redirect the
time.
conversation.
Yeah, we want
And let's
to.
stay-
Just wait. I'm speaking. Let's redirect the conversation to talk about: are you too toxic to be in a relationship? Because we're going off on hella tangents right,
Right.
now.
I got
Let's go ahead.
idea.
Can you take the 8 reasons why?
So, okay. So
Let
here's
them
some of the
hear it,
reasons that some people fail at their relationships, and with respect to toxicity. So we
Hey,
have
Danny.
we have lack of accountability. You want your partner to make you a better person. You have low emotional intelligence. I mentioned this. I mentioned this earlier.
The safe space, Oliver.
There has to be a safe space to be emotionally.
Back to the
Yo, relationships just aren't this complicated. And as a person that's been successfully married since I was 22 years old, so over 19 and a half years, going on 20 years, 2 decades, relationships are not this complicated. It should not be this much work. One of the reasons why people aren't successful in their relationships is because they got too many people in their ear. It's too many people around you that don't add value into you. Social media and your friends and family have influences on what you're supposed to be doing in your relationship, and you taking advice from the wrong people, especially modern women. Relationships are supposed to be blissful. It's an opportunity for you to level up, not based off of love, but just based off of everything else, which then feeds into whether or not you love that person. Because love is an action word, it's not an emotion, or it's not a feeling. It's not an emotion, it's not a feeling. So when you see people talking about emotional intelligence and things like that, it shows me that they know nothing about relationships. And I would guarantee you that everybody on this panel is probably not married, but they're still talking about a relationship. It's only either you're single or you're married, and that's why you can't have no in between, because most people don't know what they're talking about. And so when you hear all of this drama and all of this stuff, I just don't see it. I don't have it. Most of it comes from previous relationships that then leave an impression on how it is that you're going to treat the next person. And then we talking about emotional intelligence and trauma bonding and all of that stuff. Let me hear a little bit more of what they got to say.
Back to it. This is a hot topic.
It really is.
Aaron is ready.
Thank you.
Finish up, Aaron.
Come on, sorry, Aaron.
And I mentioned this earlier, you walk on eggshells. The relationship makes you feel drained. One of the parties is a hostile communicator. So this is this is what Oliver was pointing at earlier.
And Danny.
One of the partners has controlling behaviors. And
Where is they getting this list from? And who made it up? I need to know who the author is.
lastly, you're hypercritical. And I actually think hypercritical is something
I ain't gonna front. I'm hypercritical. I am.
that I think
I'm not
we
surprised.
really need to talk about.
I'm not
I got
surprised.
the.
That's an official
Can I
list?
add one too?
Yes.
Can I
And you on all 7.
Can I add one? Can I add one that's not on the list?
Oh, boy.
That made me, with y'all speaking, made me pick this up. You're toxic because you have a toxic group of friends outside your relationship.
I don't have no friends.
Not you.
You are my
You
friend.
said Danny.
You're my friend.
my
You said
friend.
that the people.
Yeah.
that Danny's
Yeah,
their
birds of a
friend.
feather flock together. I agree.
Yeah, or not.
Yeah, you're the company you
let's be
keep.
honest. Let's
Let's
fix
put it out
that.
there.
We all went to school, right? So now we're looking at marriages. Is there any marriages that's happening? No, there's a lot of baby mothers that's not married, that are in a single relationship, raising a single child. So there is a lot of toxic people out there.
Single child?
Like, so yeah, a lot of parents, a lot of
long
women are
night.
single parents, right? No, let's talk about it. There's no marriages, or you see, or you want to come to my baby shower, or you want to come to my baby shower. Where's the wedding? Or we're not
Right.
together though. So why do you think a lot of people are not together right now?
Hold up.
We live in a toxic world right now.
After we talked about the story, now we have to share how we identified the 8, and now how can we get out of that? We need a healing process, right? After we just the 8.
Nah, we don't need none of that. We just need to be able to cut off the people that's not for you, and stop going to baby showers, celebrating women that's having children out of wedlock. Stop trying to acknowledge that people are in a relationship instead of actually being successfully married. And I don't think that most people even understand what being in a successful relationship, yet marriage, is. Yet everybody is having a conversation about the healing process. How come everybody's so bitter? How come everybody got to heal? How come everybody is in a bad place? I'm just curious. It just don't make no sense to me as to what it is that I see being communicated. But let me know what y'all thoughts are. Hit me up in the comments. Make sure you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Also, on top of that, get that Teach Hanley 30% off your first order plus a free gift. Let me know what y'all think. I believe personally that you are what you attract. And so when we keep talking about these toxic relationships, yeah, you do exist in a toxic space. I even hate the word toxic, but you do exist in these spaces that ultimately attract the worst women for you. And then we start to look at what it is that you look at instead of who you are. But people start to bond based off of what they like about each other, yet they start to get into a relationship based off of things that don't actually allow for you to be successfully married. Again, let me know what you think in the comments. Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I'll see you guys on the Millionaire Morning Show today. Peace.